Okay, so today we're going to be talking more about cells and the different parts. We know that every living thing is made of cells, both plants and animals, and we're going to talk about, again, the differences between those two types of cells. So, starting with cells. Cells are the basic building block of life. Every living thing, every organism is made up of cells, and they are teeny tiny. You need a microscope to see a majority of cells. So the cell is the smallest unit of living things that can carry out the basic processes of life. When we're talking about cells, we have two different organisms. We have a unicellular organism and a multicellular organism. Going back over, uni means one, so unicellular is one cell creature or a one cell organism. Multicellular, multi means more than one. So multicellular, they have more than one type of cell. So unicellular, they are just made of that one cell, and it carries out all the life processes. And if you remember the life processes, it's growing, responding to its environment, reproducing, getting food, and getting rid of waste. So a unicellular organism does all of those things by itself. Multicellular organisms are made up of more than one. We are multicellular. We have multiple different types of cells that help carry out those life processes. So organelles, that's what makes up the cell. That's the stuff on the inside. The human body, so your body has over 200 different types of cells. And if you look at the chart, animal cell organelles are on the left, plant cell organelles are on the right. You see that both of them have a nucleus, both of them have mitochondria, and both have vacuoles. You will notice a difference when it comes to an organelle that plant cells have, which is chloroplast. So animal cells are mostly round. They're covered with a thin, flexible covering called a cell membrane. This cell membrane allows things to come in and things to go out, and that's what gives it its shape. The inside, the jelly stuff, is like cytoplasm. It's made up of mostly water, and those organelles kind of float inside the cytoplasm. The nucleus, the brain, you might hear it referred to as the brain, is a large round organelle, and since it is the brain, it sends signals to the rest of the cell and is normally found towards the center. Mitochondria, they're oval shaped. They're known as the power plant or the powerhouse of the cell, and it creates the energy. The cells that require a lot of energy have many mitochondria within them. Vacuole is used for storage. It can store water, food, or waste. The nucleus tells that vacuole when to release whatever it is holding inside of it. So plant cells. Plant cells have many of the same things. However, plant cells are more box-like or rectangular, and that is because they have something called a cell wall. A cell wall is the outer covering, and it's stiff, so it makes it retain that rectangular shape. It also gives it structure and has that extra strength. Plant cells make their own food with those chloroplasts. So that was the thing that was different when we looked at the chart earlier between plant and animal cells. So that chloroplast is green, and this is where the energy from the sunlight is changed into food for the plant. And because it's green because it contains a chemical called chlorophyll. You will also notice that a vacuole inside of a plant cell is much larger, and they only have one because that's what stores the water, and that is what keeps the plants from drying out. All right, so this was just a quick review over what we learned last week about plant and animal cells and the different things that go on with it. If you will, go to Kahoot and enter the pin down below, and you will be able to play a Kahoot game to show us what you know.